Hey guys, it's Randy again. It's a Monday morning. It's quite hot already. We're up around 85 and shooting for mid to high 90s this afternoon. Of course, humidity's up. We've got a hurricane coming in to our southeast, and it's making a big difference in this area. It's clear skies, but just as humid as it can be. Anyway, I've got a lot that I want to talk about, but first things first. If you watched my last video, you know that I was messing with a small rocket log that I made from a fence post, and it worked out really good. I've messed with it for 3 or 4 days afterward just because I was fascinated with it. I'm like a big kid, I always say that. But I started using one like this that's about 6 inches tall, and as I had mentioned, these work really good, burn out. This one, shorter size, burns really hot for about 40 minutes. And I ran into an issue with it as far as nails. I went to a smaller nail as far as 3 nails on this log in order to place a cook pot or a skillet. And I found out that with the nails in it and the heat between the top of this and the bottom of the surface is extreme enough that these burn out a little faster than I would like. And with that, it tends to burn out and split where the nails are at, which increases it. I'm always messing with the flat plate steel, you probably know. I wound up building this, and it cured all of my problems. I'll have to set this on the ground so that you can see how it's arranged, but this actually sits down over the fire log, and see if I can get it in here, maybe give you an idea. And the top, which is not stable at the moment, but it allows you to set your cook pot on top of this, and this burns from within and works just like they do normally, but it's just amazing the difference. So what I'm going to do this morning, I'm going to make some coffee and talk about a few things, but I want to give you an idea of this thing that I built just because, like I said, I'm just a big kid, but I'm fascinated with it. It has no welds, has no drilling. It's just a flat plate that's been cut, and I've bent it into the shape that it is currently. And these are just friction plates that sit on the top, and they're quite solid, but they're not welded on. And if you'll bear with me, I'll give you a show of this in just a little bit. Okay, here we go. Like I said, if you didn't see the previous video, you might want to look back at it, but just to update you, I drilled these posts out and post pieces, and what I've done is placed paraffin inside with sawdust and then also a bit of cotton. And I'm going to go the easy route today and use a lighter, but I want to show you how well that this thing performs. Anyway, I'm just going to get this thing going here. It's a little slow to start, but you'll see how it performs. There we go. Naturally on camera, everything's always 1/5 the performance of what you'd like to show. But normally it lights really quick, just a single hit. And you can see that that's coming to life there. And I'll set this on the ground, and this just sits right over the top, so it lets it have all of its normal airflow, and that's really stable. Trusty rubber bands, I've always got one hanging around somewhere. They work well. And these smoke pretty bad for about 2 minutes, and then They're just almost smokeless for the rest of the duration. Now I've got a couple of secrets about my coffee also I'd like to share. I'll do that in a bit. And I've got a subscriber, which I've subscribed to his channel also, but I need to do a shout out to a couple of guys. Sit there right there. We'll give it time to get going. She's definitely at full life now. And it almost goes smokeless here in a moment or two. This one smoked a little more than some do. Okay, now this has been boiling for about a minute and a half, and I'm going to set it off. I'm going to hit it with just some cool water. And that's supposed to make the ground settle to the bottom. That's the secret to good camp coffee. Oh yeah, not a grain. Not a grain came off in that. And like I said, Dave Pearson with the Really Big Monkey One, he's the one that brought that to my attention, and of course Morse is famous for that. But just let that cool a bit. Pretty hot. And guys, I know that on camera this is just going to look like a dark spot in the cup, but there are no grounds at all. And man, I can smell this. I always make my coffee a little bit strong. That's the way that I prefer it. Oh yeah, it's still real hot. This is an insulated cup, but it'll cool down. Now, when it comes to survival and critical situations, in my opinion's always been comfort's important. So this will seem really childish, but this is what I add to my coffee. It seems to make all the difference in the world. Get a few calories and make that with strong coffee, and that's some good stuff. At least that's what some of the old people I know say. I'm one of them. We're at about, I don't know, almost 15 minutes on this burn, and it hasn't hardly opened up the log at all. And guys, a couple more things while I'm letting this burn. I'm going to double check the burn time on it just for proof. But there are a couple of guys that have subscribed to me on YouTube as far as my channel, and they really impress me in a lot of ways. One of these gentlemen is Dan, and he's with BlindOwl Bushcraft and Outdoors, and he's actually located in the Philippines. He's from the US here, but I think he's been in the Philippines for 16 years, something like that, if I remember correctly. Previously I made a challenge as far as the fire roll challenge, 10 forward strokes to get an ember, and totally to my surprise, this gentleman stated that he was kind of fascinated with what I had tried, but he tried this challenge and he posted it on YouTube early this morning, which was let me see, I'm not sure when I'll publish this, but June the 8th is when he posted it, and he made some attempts at the fire roll. It's very humid over in the Philippines, and he had some issues, and I was just fascinated with his perseverance. Whether you succeed or not is really not the point. He had stated that you know, he can usually get a fire roll going within about 30 strokes. So you have to give credit where credit's due. The environment always plays a role, and on top of that, the end result is, can you make fire from a piece of cotton and ash? So he has succeeded at this numerous times before, I'm sure. He just blew me away with his attempts and the weather. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to get his address. And as far as the challenge, there were no winners or losers. I wanted to just challenge people to make the attempt. And his attempt with nothing hidden as far as what he allowed us to see, and that fascinated me. That's how I learned, is through failure. What I want to do is, I'm going to build one of these rocket burners, and I'm going to see if I can send it to Dan, if he'll accept it, and just for the fact that he's the man that he is. But you might check out his channel, and I'll also put a link to his video on my fire roll challenge video, and I'll place it at the bottom of this video above the comments. So if you will, give him a look. Guys, also there are a couple of gentlemen. One is SnJnPreps, and the other is Christopher Godeezy, and I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I generally watch their videos, but both have been quite kind to me. SnJnPreps, as you may know, sent me some fat wood, a ferro rod, and a couple of grill plates several months back. And Chris was asking about these, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to send him a pair, just because he may be in an area in the near future where he needs them. Also, SnJnPreps, I never returned the favor as far as sending him anything, and I'm not sure how snake-ridden his part of the eastern United States is, but we're going to send him a set of these if he might ever have a need. Now, beyond that, this little fire log stove that I've built, I'm actually going to start manufacturing these, and I don't know if anyone would be interested. I'll probably be one of those eBay salesmen in the near future, and it's probably going to take me about 30 days to gather the appropriate equipment so that it doesn't take all day to make a stove. It's just an estimate, but I believe that I'll probably be selling these stoves for $8.99. And the fire logs, I'm going to set myself up where I can make these quite fast, and they're inexpensive. I think that I can probably sell the fire logs for about $1.89 a piece. I may sell them in sets of a single or a set of 3, and if that's the case, about $5.67 per package of 3 fire logs. And it could be something that you just throw in the trunk or behind your seat. But this little stove that I've been working on, to me, like I said, I'm simple-minded, but it's got a little bit of magic to it. It just works so well. And I'll give you another peek of this, as it's about half burned. Now we're over 20 minutes of burn time, and they just light quite easy. This one smoked a little more than they generally do. I may have added a little too much paraffin, but about 3.5 minutes in, it started reaching the point to where it was burning smokeless, and now it's completely smokeless. So it has been for quite a little while. I have a simple mind, but it was a lot of fun to make, and the performance just kind of surprised me. So I thought, you know, there may be someone out there who would like to have one. If you'd like, you can contact me at my About tab. I have an email there, and I'll let you know the status. But like I said, it may be about 30 days before I actually start manufacturing these. And that's about all I've got for this round. So you guys take care.